What is up, guys? How we doing? So Joe Shimoda had to make a really hard decision, and I commend him for what he's done. There's a lot of really talented riders in that 250 class, but can any of them actually challenge Hayden Deegan? Is this his victory parade in the 250 class? Is it just his last time to just stamp wins for the history books? Probably. If you haven't tried Nano Extreme and you got some sort of ache or pain, I'm telling you, you need to. It will help you. It's so good. It's the best pain solution that I've ever used. Head over to Nano Extreme, use code Cooksy and get free shipping. Are you training for something this summer? You gonna get in shape, but you don't know if you're working too hard, not working enough, and you wanna talk to a real expert? Click the link below. Coach Rob, it's a few more days of his 30-minute consultations. If you wanna talk to Coach Rob himself, click the link below and he will get you dialed in on whatever you're training for in the future. If you're shipping anything, use Precision Transport. This is a family-owned shipping company that really believes in customer service and doing the right thing. They have reasonable pricing and they're just good people. So if you're shipping anything, check out pretransport.com. Or if you want to save money, you got a big business that ships a whole bunch, they do that too.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Heading into this season, Joe Shimoda had kind of a rap on him that he was a slow starter and that he always came on towards the end when the pressure was off. And yeah, I laid that on him a lot because that's what he'd done. Historically, that's where he was. He would come out, start slow, finish strong at the end of the season, and then coming into the following year, we'd be like, oh, wait till you see Joe. And he would regress, and he didn't do very good, but he would always pick it up in the end. He changed that this year. He came out on fire when everyone was talking about Levi Kitchen, Hayden Deegan, and all Julian Beaumer, all these fast guys in that 250 West. We know Kitchen went out ill, went east, but not a lot of people expected Joe Shimoda to come out there and win Anaheim 1, and he did. Then he goes to round 2 in San Diego looking fast, and seriously, of all things, a pit board. A pit board hits his hand, breaks his hand. That pit board that he hit literally changed the perspective on his whole career. It's crazy how had that pit board not hit him, where his leverage would have been in getting a new ride. But I'll tell you where he's going in a second. You add to the broken hand, and Joe Shimoda's kind of average starts the last couple of years, and then he comes back or keeps racing, and what can you do? His hand was broken. It wasn't good. Then we had all the crazy news about the Lawrences and Lucas Myrtle, and Lucas Myrtle was Joe Shimoda's agent. Joe didn't know what to think. He's like, I don't know. Lucas has been nothing but great to me. He helps find rides. He's been a super agent for Joe Shimoda. So how's he supposed to take this information? Are they stealing? Is it not stealing? What's going on here? And I'm sure Joe saw the same information that I did, where, yeah, there was that funky account, and maybe Lucas did some things with that account that were probably ill-advised, but it wasn't theft. He was still on the hook for all that money. He would have had to pay it back, and he did have to pay it back. So as mad as the Lawrences were, and they could have just fired him behind the scenes, they went public and created a shitstorm for everybody, including Joe Shimoda. But Joe showed his true character this year, and I will always be a Joe Shimoda fan for what I've seen out of him this year. He stood up and said, no, I'm going to wait for the information. If he did actually steal, I will fire him, but I'm going to stay with Lucas because I don't think that's the case. And until somebody shows me actual proof that he did steal, I'm staying with Lucas Myrtle. And this did not sit well with the Lawrence camp. And they have so much power at Honda. Listen, the Lawrences come in there. They've got Jet. They've got Hunter. They are important to Honda. So you want to keep them happy. They come in there and they take over like it's their, if you listen to Darren Lawrence talk, he acts like he owns Honda. He acts like he designed the bikes. He did this. It is crazy the amount of control. When you have the greatest rider probably in the history of the sport, you get to come in and act like a dick if you want to, but it shows his character. But the way they treated Joe this year was kind of disgusting in my opinion. It started with them not letting him train with them in Florida and instead going with a guy from a different team in Seth Hamaker. And poor Joe, he's just trying to do the right thing and not fire Lucas because he shouldn't have probably been fired in the first place. And he's like, he's done nothing but help me, so why would I turn on the guy? The problem with Joe taking a stand is right now in his career, his results, he's at a point where with an agent, without an agent, he's lucky to be getting a ride. He's had a lot of opportunities and he hasn't capitalized. And whether it's his fault or not his fault with the pit board, These teams hire riders based on results, and Joe hasn't had the kind of results that would get out there and command that somebody has to sign him no matter what. He's kind of like on that, he's good, but I can go with somebody else. He's very, very replaceable. And Lucas Myrtle has been a super agent for a long time. Getting riders, he got Chance Hymas onto Team Honda. Nobody had heard of Chance Hymas, or a few people in the amateurs did, but he was not going to get an HRC ride until Lucas Myrtle stepped in, plucked him, and brought him to Team Honda, which is why it makes it extra disappointing that Hymas immediately flipped and went right with the Lawrences. I like Joe's approach. Joe went, you know what? I'm going to wait, see what happens, and make a decision on my own because he thinks for himself, unlike the rest of the sheep in the pits. And as much as these brands, Kawasaki, Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, as much as they play nice with the agents, they don't like them. They do not like them. In particular, agents that demand they pay exactly what their rider's worth or even more than what their rider's worth. They don't like it. So where Joe's at in his career right now, he's got zero leverage, none. Honda wanted to keep him, but it's really uncomfortable with the Lawrences. If he stays with Lucas Myrtle, it's going to be a nightmare. It's just a bad working environment. They've been real dicks to Joe behind the scenes. But Honda did make him an offer, but so did Kawasaki. Kawasaki wanted Joe Shimoda. But the thing is they don't want him that bad. And that's the problem. Had he not hit that pit board, the leverage would be different. So the contract that Kawasaki sends over, it had a clause that said you cannot be represented by Lucas Myrtle. I don't know if that's legal. I think it's wrong. And I think a rider should be able to use whatever representation they want. But it's also Kawasaki's right to say, hey, we will do business with you, but we don't want to do business with him. And it's not because he's guilty. It's because they don't want to bring that whole storm in there. And then if Joe does start winning and Lucas is representing him, he's going to maximize the money. So Kawasaki's probably looking at it two different ways. One, we don't need that kind of drama around because it's not good. Whether it's Lucas's fault or not, this has all been created, and unfortunately it's a black cloud hanging over him. And these teams and riders just want to go race. They don't want to have any of this drama. It sucks for them. They don't like it. So they said, no Lucas. If you have Lucas, we don't offer you a contract. And as much as Joe wanted and tried to stay with Lucas Myrtle, he had to do what was best for his career. If he stood all the way, because he still likes Lucas Myrtle, and he still thinks he's a good dude and knows the truth about he didn't steal. But if he stands behind his guy, he doesn't have a ride. Where does he go? He has to do what's best for Joe. So while it sucks, I'm disappointed that the industry is allowed to have dirty behavior like this, where you're guilty by an accusation, and then they're essentially blackmailing riders to ditch you. That's bad, man. That is really bad. And Joe did everything within his power. But had he not gone out and won the Supercross championship, his leverage was nil. He could not stand up. If he stood up, he'd be unemployed. So I haven't seen the contract with Joe and Kawasaki, but I'm about 90% sure that he has signed with Kawasaki. There's a small chance he's going back to Honda, but I don't see him wanting to be around the Lawrences the way they've treated him this year. It's got to be uncomfortable. I think a fresh start for Joe, going back to pro circuit. He had a lot of good results there. It sucks that they forced him to, abandon his agent, but he had no choice. He had no choice. But I'll tell you what, I am just hoping. Listen, I think Deegan's awesome, and I'm not cheering for anyone in particular. But if Joe ends up with the number one plate this year and takes it over to Kawasaki, that will be sweet redemption for Joe. And stick it to these people who have been grinding on him, and he's going to take that plate from Honda where they're harassing him. And not everybody. There's a lot of people at Honda that really like Joe, and they really wanted to keep him. But it's just a toxic environment with that Lawrence family. And since he kind of questioned them by saying, no, I want to see how this plays out and what information's there, he's on their shit list. But what we're seeing with Joe Shimoda is the epidemic in our sport. We have a lot of people who don't have any backbone. They just fold and just do whatever they can. They take care of themselves first. And while I understand that, the thing is if you had a bunch of people who had the personality of Joe Shimoda, they wouldn't have the options to do the dirty crap because everyone would stick together and they'd say, you're doing that to Joe, then we're good. We need some sort of a riders association, a rider union. There's got to be something to protect these young athletes chasing their dream, because if they stand up for what they actually believe in, they won't have the dream anymore. It's rough. I hope this gives you an idea of how the industry just stifles any free thinkers They do not want riders who are their product, their free labor. They do not want free thinkers. They don't want people who know their value or will stand up for what they believe in. Those people, they get blackballed. So while Joe stood up, he could only take it so far before he would have self-destructed his career. Speaking of a rider they're trying to control, Hayden Deegan. And when I talk about that power and that control, Hayden Deegan absolutely has the power to make a change if he chooses to. But man, I don't envy the fight that it would be if he chooses to be the guy to get fair rider pay, get these safety issues fixed with the tough blocks, get a step stand for pit boards and little things that would really help the sport. Man, if he stands up and does that stuff, they are going to hit him with the kitchen sink. It's probably going to cost him millions and be a huge headache. I don't know that Deegan wants to do that. I think he just wants to go out there, win races, and end up as one of the sport's all-time greats and have some fun. So I don't look down on him at all for not taking on that battle, but man, I sure hope he does, because he does have the power to actually change the sport for the better for everybody. Check out Ride Strapped, goggles, glasses, shirts, just a really cool company that I love and I appreciate. So head over to ridestrap.com, check out the shirts, goggles, glasses, just a cool company, ridestrap.com. Alias MX Gear, they've got their bicycling gear and the 2026 stuff right around the corner. As soon as we have it, I'll let you know. Alias MX, if you want to see what's still available, they got some cool stuff over there. And all of you members are going to be entered to win the new Power Sports XQi3 motorcycle. I got mine yesterday. I've ridden it around. This is awesome. I have a Sur-On and I've been comparing them directly. And man, I really like this new Power Sports bike. But I'm going to do a video comparing them directly because there are a couple things about the Sur-On that I kind of like. But overall, for the price of the new Power Sports, $39.99 retail, brand new, is really hard to compete. The fact that the bike might actually be straight up higher quality and better than the Sur-On kind of makes it a no-brainer. Okay, back to the on-track stuff. I don't see anyone in that 250 class that can really be a formidable opponent for Hayden Deegan. He's got Chance Hymas walking around like a dog that peed on the carpet. You know, they curl up and they just get scared. He owns Chance Hymas. Levi Kitchen is a guy who absolutely could battle him, did battle him last year, but he's coming off that horrendous injury at Daytona. I had heard rumors he was ready to go at Paula, but I mean, as you can see, he probably wasn't. So he's going to have to race himself back into shape, work on the confidence, and I think he'll get back up there towards the end of the season. But I think this season is more just this outdoor season for Levi Kitchen, straight up just rebuilding. The two-time MXGP champion, Tom Vial. This is a guy I just expect more out of. He was very disappointing at Paula. I expected him, coming off his second Supercross championship, to really come out here on fire. Maybe he had a Supercross hangover. It was a stressful battle all the way through Salt Lake, and that does wear on these guys. He is really good at Hangtown. He won the second moto at Hangtown last year, and I truly think if he doesn't win Hangtown, I don't see him being a problem for Hayden at all. If he wants to actually battle Hayden Deegan head-to-head, which I'm not sure that he can, he has to get a win this weekend. If Hayden wins and Tom gets another 2, 3, or 4 in the next race, following race, this championship's going to be out of reach before he even knows it. And the only other guy that I could see being a problem or getting in the mix for race wins is Julien Beaumer. He made significant improvements to his outdoor riding skills. I mean, he looked pretty good at Paula. The question is, can he continue this? I think he will be on the podium at Hangtown. I don't know. I would expect him to get a moto win or an overall win this year, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do it consistently enough to actually put himself in the championship battle. But man, I'll tell you what, Julien Beaumer has made some big improvements, and I can't help it. I'm a fan of this guy. He has put in the work. He was a Supercross specialist. I mean, he started racing a little bit later because he was a jet ski guy. I think you're going to see more improvement than you would out of a normal rider his age with this experience. I think you're going to see him make leaps and bounds, and maybe next year he will be your outdoor champion and your Supercross champion. I don't know quite what the ceiling is for Julien Beaumer, but when I see him ride, I'm like, damn, some of the things he does on that bike are just unreal. With Hayden Deegan being so dominant, what's crazy is his racecraft. The first guy that I've ever seen be able to weaponize racecraft or speed at certain moments in the race was Jet Lawrence. James Stewart was just fast all the time. They'd back off the end. Ricky Carmichael, fast all the time, back off in the end. The way Jet Lawrence is able to go 80%, push a guy, then that guy goes 100, he goes 100, and then that guy goes 80, and he goes 100. Like, he's able to raise and lower his speed and effort level throughout the moto like nobody I've ever seen before. But Hayden Deegan was paying attention. He does the exact same thing. He has also mastered that racecraft portion. So while he can continue working on these different skills in what is his swan song in the 250 outdoors, man, I can't wait to see when Hayden Deegan does jump to that 450. We could see a rivalry that we've never seen before. Two of the greatest riders ever, the biggest media personalities. Just cross my fingers and hope that both of these guys stay healthy and it lines up to where they do have the rivalry that I think they're going to have, because it is going to be fun. And they both have a complete skill set. The only weakness that I would see for Hayden Deegan right now is his supercross and those early mistakes. Outdoors, I do not see a hole in his game. He's perfect. But if Tom Vial is going to get into the championship fight against Hayden Deegan, he's got to jump on him here. While Hayden's not bad at Hangtown, this is not one of his best tracks. He got beat by Tom Vial in the second moto. I remember he had the helicopter crash. This is the round that Tom Vial has to jump on him if he wants to enter this title fight. And there's a couple other guys that I'm kind of looking for this weekend. Michael Mosman, he won a moto straight up in 2022 at Hangtown. He's been all over the board, but that talent hasn't left him. I think with a good start, and if he wakes up on the right side of the bed, you're going to see Michael Mosman running up front, maybe leading laps, and maybe getting a podium or, in one of the motos or even overall. But he's got the talent, and damn, he is fast at Hangtown. Another guy I'm watching close is Casey Cochran. This is the Gas Rockstar rider. He had that horrendous injury before Supercross, like his hip, leg, like it was bad. It was almost career ending. Borderline amazing that he's able to come back and ride as well as he has. And what I saw at Paula, I was impressed with. And don't forget, last year at Hangtown, I believe he was your fastest qualifier. So he likes this track, he's comfortable. I think you're gonna see flashes of Casey Cochran on Saturday, getting up there inside the top 5, top 10. But I'm watching him close because I'm really cheering for this kid after the injury that he had and how he's coming back. And honestly, he's probably going to have to impress somebody because I'm pretty sure that Gas team is going away. There is so much to see this weekend. It's crazy. It's only round 2, and there's so many different storylines to follow. It is going to be hot at Hangtown, so if you're going to watch, hydrate up. If you're riding, I hope you've been doing your work because it is going to be brutal. And that second moto and that rough track is going to be gnarly. Thank you, members. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are all entered to win the 32-ounce bottle of Nano Extreme. That is a $400 value. I'll be giving that away in a couple days here for the end of May, and then I got a new prize pack for June. But you guys are getting some every single month, and I will just grab a random member. So thank you guys very much, and here's your member of the day.